Hello everyone, my name is Kanak Kataria and welcome to this presentation on qualitative methods in training peer support volunteers. This presentation builds on our experiences in selecting and training youth peer support volunteers for mental health in India as a part of SICARE, an online peer support platform for youth. SICARE was developed at the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, with support from IIIT Bangalore as a part of Project Manas, an initiative of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. Me and my colleague Mehli, who you will hear from later in this presentation, were project staff involved in the volunteer selection, training, and supervision. The training was overseen by Dr. Seema Mehrotra and Dr. Jyotsna Agrawal, faculty at the Department of Clinical Psychology at NIMHANS. As a low and middle income country, India has a population of over 1.3 billion, but very limited mental health resources, resulting in treatment gaps of approximately 85%. This makes promotive and preventive mental health especially important, particularly when delivered by non-specialists who have undergone brief training, such as peer supporters. Such support is especially relevant for youth, given the developmental challenges of young adulthood. PsychCare was set up to utilize peer support to support mental health of youth in India. While selecting volunteers, we were keen to locate individuals who had not just the right qualifications, but also a set of supportive attitudes, experiences, and skills. We found that qualitative methods were uniquely well suited to this pursuit, allowing us to focus on the person and process behind peer support. This allowed us to move beyond self-reportive skills and analyze the skills themselves directly. For selection, we invited statements of purpose from applicants, along with responses to a sample post likely to be encountered on the website. In training, shortlisted applicants analyzed helpfulness of 3 sets of sample responses, generated their own responses in groups, and explored a framework for helpful responses. Post-training, they submitted individually generated responses to 2 sample posts, on the basis of which the final selections were made. Across this process, we analyzed the content and themes of the responses and the structure and elements involved. However, using response generation in the training sessions helped us observe not just the content created, but also the process of arriving at the responses and the iterations involved. We noted that across training, responses changed in length, tone, and content elements. Throughout this process, we focused dually on what was said and how it was said. When we were looking at responses and selecting volunteers, we sought those who had the most helpful content in terms of a combination of validation, exploration, and tentative suggestions, along with coherent structures, who showed improvement from pre to post training stages and had responses with a friendly and reassuring tone. Together, these factors helped us reflect on the overall feel of the response, that is, how supported the person receiving this response would feel. We also encourage volunteers to reflect on how helpful they would perceive the response to be if they were to receive it.
The next phase of training was regular supervision, which included a lot of reflective activities. We encouraged reflections as a way of thinking. This was to aid interpretation of the posts and responses to the issues brought up by the youth. This encouraged authenticity in responses, allowing for more empathic responses. To encourage reflection, we asked questions such as, what sort of assumptions appear to underpin what is being said? What is being said here? What responses would they themselves like to hear if they were going through this? Supervision sessions included group activities such as discussions on what posts were most difficult for volunteers, what such posts brought up for volunteers, and what would they themselves find helpful in their responses. We elicited feedback from the training participants. Some of the feedback we received was that they learned the balance between action and listening, that good intentions alone are not enough, and it is important to focus on what is being said as well as how it is being said, even in the written format. Majority of the participants agreed that the workshop increased their confidence in providing online peer support. Training focused on understanding the construction of social and psychological phenomena for the youth, the role of language in this construction of subjective realities, and encouraged volunteers to engage and disengage with these constructions. Overall, qualitative approaches as a method is important for getting a quality system of support, and analysis and responding to posts also included rigorous application of qualitative inquiry to be able to elicit responses that are supportive. Active application of these qualitative methods is required for development of a training methodology that is rigorous and effective. Applying qualitative methods in the here and now for training allows reflection on not just the content generated, but also the process employed in arriving at it. Thank you.